I call to order special meeting of Borough Council Monday, March 16th.
Is Chris virtual? Is he going to be here?
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
You can just put it here if you want to, Dave.
Yeah, I will.
Mr. Allen is going to join us via
Christopher?
telephone.
Yep. Okay.
Tell him he's in front of the mic.
We just
so
called
he
to order
knows.
the meeting. You're in front of the mic.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to cut him off if he gets out of hand.
Let's please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amber, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Allen?
Present.
Ms. Kowski?
Here.
Ms. Godovic?
Here.
Ms. Margarella?
Here.
Mr. Panza?
Here.
Ms. Schwartz?
Here.
Mr. Ray?
Here.
Mayor Shea?
Present.
And now an opportunity for public comment on any agenda items.
Council President, I did ask our EMA coordinator to attend this evening, and Matt is here to give us kind of an idea of the rolling outages, power outages, and weather challenges that we have. So I'd like to turn it over to him to brief council and make sure that any questions that council might have is answered.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Matt Swartzfeger. I'm at 1195 Green Tree Road, and I am also the volunteer and appointed emergency management coordinator for the borough. And so
And Matt, I just want to point out that you're a volunteer, and we thank you for your service and your past service to the military.
I appreciate that. So just a little recap on, just so everyone knows kind of where we're coming from in this. The EMC's duties primarily are to report to the county about emergencies going on in the borough, coordinate external resources that may be coming into the borough via the County Emergency Management Authority or the State Emergency Management Authority, and advise the borough government on what we do in emergencies. So under that envelope, I'm going to let you all know what happened in the last couple of days, and we can have a conversation about this. Winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Caught a lot of folks off guard this last week after several weeks of repeated high wind advisories. They put out a lot of power lines, put down a couple of electrical poles, put down a lot of trees into roadways, started a couple of fires outside the borough. Thankfully, none of them were inside the borough, so a pretty bad regional windstorm with a widespread power outage. So I want to offer my gratitude to the first responders who made a bunch of emergency calls throughout the borough on the evening of the 14th. There was many calls they responded to, and by the morning of the 15th, the word was the first responders had no ongoing incidents and had already cleared any critical infrastructure damage, and there was no ongoing critical infrastructure damage. So as far as we know right now, Green Tree's roadways are open, Green Tree's public spaces are open, and that's a huge accomplishment that the success goes to the first responders in that first 24 hours. Where are we now? We know that about 150 households as of 7 or 5 o'clock this evening are still without power in the borough. I am tracking 5 distinct outages across the borough right now. If you are one of the impacted people, or anyone can hear me as an impacted person, and you want to verify that I'm tracking your stuff, I would love to have a conversation with you, and we'll get to my email and contact information in just a minute. As of noon today, power was expected to be restored this evening, though Duquesne Light has gone back and forth on that commitment on a couple of times. I checked again at 5 o'clock, and some of those outages in the borough had moved back to the to be determined column, and then a couple of them moved back to the this evening timeline. So we don't really know for sure which ones are going to come back on tonight. But Duquesne Light is out right now and is responding to a number of locations, so hopefully that number will drop soon. I am aware of outages impacting houses on Potomac, Crestview, Rose Garden, McMonigle, Robin Hood, Evandale, Dale Street, Norris, Rancho, NAMI, Glencoe, Aikenhurst, Forest, Robin Hood, Conroy, Reed, and one, I think, that has been restored on Residence Inn Drive. Akehurst? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I will add that to my list. Did I say?
Yeah, you said
Akehurst? Okay. So what's next? Weather reports are calling for cold and snow. Unfortunately, this is a significant concern for people who are without power. As of 1400, reports from National Weather Service came to the County Emergency Management Authority saying that we have a 50% chance of greater than 1 inch in the Green Tree area, 40% chance of greater than 2 inches, and roughly a 20% chance of greater than 4 inches over the next 48 hours. Good news, though, less than 10% chance of more than 7 inches. I say that because we're dealing with a pretty bad power outage followed with a pretty cold and snowy 48-hour period. So the borough has already made available some spaces and hotels. I can get individuals the information about that after this meeting if anyone in earshot is affected. But moving on to maybe the most important part of this quick remark, what can you do? Here I want to say already thank you to the many friends and neighbors and community members who have volunteered their time and resources and wisdom to help people who have been affected by this storm. I can think of numerous people who have reached out to me, sharing information, sharing resources with their neighbors, sharing concern for their neighbors. That is a great thing, and we need a lot more of it. I get some of my information from the county directly. That is primarily in the form of, I'm usually pushing information up to the county in terms of what's going on inside the borough. I get a lot of my information from public sources like the National Weather Service or Duquesne Light, but the best information I get about what's going on in the borough comes from the public, and so I need your help. I need everybody's help to reach out to their neighbors, to walk their neighborhoods, to effectively communicate with folks who have been impacted by this storm and are going to be impacted by the next storm. Obviously, folks without power don't necessarily have good connection to the internet or to electronic devices, so they can't necessarily hear what I'm saying now if they're not in the room. The best way to get a hold of those folks is to go out and notice them. We've had a few instances recently where folks who are in very high need, unmet need, who with power outages, didn't really know what to do, and it's lucky that neighbors came across them to share resources and to let me know that there was things going on, and to point Duquesne Light in the right direction to get those folks on the emergency list.
So Matt, can I just real quickly, our council president has been very progressive in regards to his communication with residents. I thought this would be a good chance for you, Dave, to talk about some of the resources that we are doing, just in case Matt is not aware.
Well, I think, Matt, if you don't mind, I'm just going to allow him to finish, and then I'll make remarks.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, if you want to, Council President, if you want to finish up at the end with specific things, I can also share those resources with folks afterwards. But I guess the big point here is I would like folks to contact me at my borough email address with any unmet needs they come across in their community that relate to the storm. So that is emc@greentreeborough.com. You can also call or text me at a Google number that I set up for this, so it's not checked all the time. You expect to probably leave a message there, but I do check it regularly. And that's 412-433-0262. And that's all I have. Thank you, Council, for the time, and I look forward to assisting you all as much as I can over the next few storms.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah, and so just a couple of things on our end. One, Matt mentioned the hotels. So the borough negotiated a rate with the Hampton Inn
So if you're in need of a place to stay this evening or tomorrow evening, make a reservation with the Hampton Inn down the street. The municipal building, the fire station will be available as a warming area if you want to come in from the cold, or you need a charging station. You can use our facilities to charge your devices. Thanks to Mr. Panza, he was able to coordinate a dumpster that's going to be stationed in the pool parking lot to dispose of any spoiled food that you might have in your refrigerator and freezers. And I think first and foremost, if there's an emergency, obviously call 911. Our first responders will be there promptly. But I just want to thanks Matt for your dedication to the borough and taking on this new role. I think this might be the first sort of live event that you're managing, and it's been quite impressive, so thanks for your service.
And just a comment, I was watching the news tonight before I came up here between 6 and 6:10. I mean, according to the news anyhow, Duquesne Light hired 1,000 independent contractors. They're saying from Florida and from Canada. So they're saying that they learned from the April of 2025 event to get independent contractors in here as soon as possible. So I'm hoping those 1,000 qualified persons from other areas are getting up and electricity up for everybody. And then in regard to Matt, I mean, he contacted me first thing Saturday morning, March 14th, which was very good, and I put him in the line of communications with others, so he was on the ball. There was a conference call yesterday with Lucas, Dave, Matt, and myself. I'm basically just a bystander. I mean, Dave and Lucas and Matt were doing it all, had it, as much as we can have it under control. When electricity goes out, I mean, you can't do everything, can't have it completely under control. We have, limited staff and things, but I think that we've done a lot better this time around than last time. So thank you, everybody, for your support, and thank you for coming tonight, Matt.
Okay.
And just to piggyback, if I may, I'm going to put the offer out like I did last year through the storms in the spring. We were blessed to still have power through this storm. So if anyone needs a generator, at this point, the Godovics are happy to offer our generator out to whoever might need it as well.
Yep. Thanks, Ms. Godovic. The other thing, just related to the power outages, and this is probably something that we need to look at, and I think we discussed it at a prior meeting, is that there seem to be certain areas in the borough that tend to experience power outages more so than others. And so maybe working with Duquesne Light to figure out if there's a reason for that, if it's outdated infrastructure, or if there's needs to be, I don't know, more infrastructure to support the demand, something that I think we need to look into. Great. Any other public comment? Okay. All right, moving on in the agenda. Earlier this evening, prior to this special meeting, council met in executive session to discuss discharging Judy Miller from the position of Borough Manager. As a result, I'd like to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to include the following action item. A motion to discharge Judy Miller as Borough Manager.
Mr. President, I would like to make that motion at this time to amend the agenda to entertain a motion to discharge the Borough Manager.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes.
Okay. Well then, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we discharge Judy Miller as Borough Manager.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Because this is a personnel issue, there will be no discussion. Amber, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Kowski?
Yes.
Ms. Godovic?
Yes.
Ms. Martorella?
Yes.
Mr. Panza?
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz?
No.
Mr. Ray.
Yes. That motion passes 6-1. Next on the agenda is an agreement of sale for parcel number 7 of Trumbull Drive Bridge Project.
That
Jacob?
should be infrastructure.
Sure. I'm happy to provide background on this if no one else wants to. So as part of the Trumbull Drive Bridge project, Keystone Acquisitions was able to reach an agreement, a settlement with one of the adjacent properties that would have to otherwise be condemned. The settlement was for the amount of $8,067.50. That agreement was reached, I believe, on January 5th, and there was 90 days from the date of the agreement to administer payment. That would actually be the day before the April regular meeting, so I figured now's a good time to have council action on this.
And this is typical with these type of projects, that you need these temporary easements to use private property, just because the very nature of the size and scale and scope of the project. So this is kind of routine stuff. So, Ms. Martorella, if you could make the motion, please. So
You want me to make a motion for the
Yeah.
agreement of the sale?
Yep.
Okay, I would like to make a motion for the agreement of the sale for parcel number 7 of the Trumbull Drive Bridge project.
I'll second that motion.
You have to read what's on the.
Oh,
You should,
the full motion.
read it, yeah.
So I move that we approve payment of the amount of $8,067.50 to Sterling Investments LP in consideration of the executive and agreement of sale, fee simple, and agreement of sale, easement, and the temporary easement for construction for parcel number 7 of the Trumbull Drive project.
I'll second that also.
We have a second discussion.
I think we already knew that this was going on, that they were going to be making easement discussions.
And there's a number of these that are on the schedule.
There's several. I think there's one that they're still negotiating with.
Yeah, I believe
and most of them
there's
are going to be coming.
maybe close to it. There's a chart, and it looks like there's maybe 8 or 10 in total.
Yeah.
Is
One is challenged, yeah.
the amount, is this, I know a lot of the bridge project is being funded by federal grants. Does that include, do we know if the federal grants pay for the acquisition
Is
of,
this the state part? Acquisition might be the state part. I'm trying to remember from the notes.
is this grant, my question simply is this going to be supported by grant funds, or does this come out of our budget?
Sorry, so there's going to be a totality of cost. Any grant money you got goes to it, so you can slice it up any way you want, but just goes to the total cost of the project.
So this counts as the total cost?
Yes,
This counts
absolutely.
annually.
Yeah.
So is this reimbursement, or does this, because it's my understanding that we don't have the federal funding yet.
We don't.
So then, is this a reimbursement once we pay for it? Do we get?
I wouldn't say it's a reimbursement. It goes to the total cost of the project.
I would have to defer to the engineer on this one.
Oh, that's right, and we actually have them here, so.
Yes, in a lot of these cases, I'm not super familiar with the Trumbull Drive Bridge. GFT is the prime consultant. Keystone Acquisition is a sub-consultant working for them and negotiated this one. But in these types of projects, there will be times where the owner needs to pay these dollars. That goes into the project cost, and then once that award is made, then any reimbursement that are eligible costs would come back in or a general fund or whatever fund it is coming out of.
Okay.
Question to the engineer. If you're our engineer, how come we have this other company doing our project?
The Trumbull Drive Bridge, the borough contracted with Gannett Fleming well before appointing us. So that's going back at least 6 years.
I keep forgetting it's taken 5-6 years
Yes.
to draw a bridge, yeah.
And
I keep
Gannett
forgetting.
Fleming, they've morphed into GFT, still providing those services. The borough retained them for one specific project, and that was the Trumbull Drive Bridge.
Because at the time, we only had an in-house engineer
Correct.
that probably couldn't do it himself.
Yes, and these
Yeah.
types of projects are specialized services.
Yeah.
You know, the span of this bridge and what it spans, including railroad tracks and state roads and different things like that. You have to have that type of experience to navigate those challenges, and Gannett Fleming has been that consultant for quite a while.
Okay. Thank you for answering. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. Do we need a roll call vote on this, Mr. Leland, or?
It's not a it's
No, I think it's okay just to do all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. All right, Mr. Mayor, would you like to lead the discussion regarding the Point Park Field at Green Street Park?
Yes, in regard to the Point Park Field, years ago, it used to be Duquesne University. They disbanded their baseball team. So about approximately 15 years, Point Park has been using that field with the permission of Green Tree, but there's been no written agreement between Point Park and Green Tree. They've worked it out between themselves, the borough manager, the coach, the Keystone Oaks athletic director, and Point Park. So it's worked out fairly well for the last 15 years. However, now Point Park would like to enter into a formal agreement with Green Tree. The reason they want a formal agreement at this time is because they want to make improvements on the field. They want to turf the field, they want to build dugouts, they want to put more than $1 million into the field. So it's just good business sense. You don't put $1 million into something you don't own unless you have some kind of written agreement. So this has been going on for a while, but it's got new life with the new council, a lot of new people now. We're going to go forward with this. There's issues that have to be worked out still. You know, who's going to pay the cost? So Point Park, I believe, is going to step up on the cost. Like I said, this is not finalized anything. There's also maintenance of the field over the long term, and there's also usage of the field over the long term. I've drafted, along with Jake or Leland, a proposed agreement with Point Park. They sent us an agreement, we've modified it, so pretty soon we're going to get back to them, hopefully next month, with a proposal to do that field and see what they have to say. In regard to usage is a big issue in addition to the cost, but in the usage, we've gotten information from Point Park. They basically need pretty much use of the field September, October, March, and April. September, October, March, and April. In May, if they make the playoffs, they only need it from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we would have use of it in May. We'd have use of it all July, August, June, July, and August. We'd have total use of the field June, July, and August. And we would have use of the field too, even when they're using September, October, March, and April. Our teams can use it. They're coordinated with Point Park. Our baseball team would use it, you know, on days that Point Park doesn't play. So I think this would be a very good, advantageous to Green Tree if we can come to this agreement that we'll be sending to Point Park in the near future for their comments. So hopefully in the near future we can reach an agreement with them, and that field can be upgraded. And not only baseball, for Point Park, their sole purpose would be for baseball. But when we have the field, we could use it for soccer also. It would not be limited to just baseball. We could use it for different activities but the lease agreement with Point Park would limit them. And under the proposed agreement, they're donate to our athletic associations, give clinics. So I think it's a win-win situation. Right now, the field cannot be used that much because of rain and drainage problems, but if it's turfed, the usage can go way up. Almost unlimited usage between or high school or athletic associations in Point Park. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I do want to make a comment that the borough will be working on an updated job description for borough manager and posting that job for a full-time manager in the very near future. Lucas is our interim manager. He's a contracted employee through Keystone Municipal Solutions, and he's helping us with that process. I'd like to open it up for public comment on any other business related to the borough. Okay, if there are none,
I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
we're adjourned.